Football players today. Mike Green, we think one of the premier pass rushers in this draft. Marshall fits us with his playing style. Excited to get him at that point in the draft. And then also Emory Jones, a younger player, offensive tackle / offensive guard from LSU. Had a chance to see him at the Senior Bowl. Physical, aggressive, tough-minded, good length. I think he's a really, really good young physical prospect who should, be a really good tackle at some point in transition to being a very good guard. Questions?
Eric, most people thought with Mike Green, I think many people thought he was a top 20 type prospect. Was he even in consideration? I know you had Malachi Stark saying he was above, the top player on your board at that point. But was Mike Green, kind of even a consideration possibly at that in the first round?
I mean, he's a talented player, for sure. He's a guy that we looked at very closely. Spent a lot of time with Mike, came to Baltimore, spent a full day with Mike here, interviewed at the combine, watched his tape, talented guy. For us, looking at Malachi, we just felt like his resume, what he did at Georgia, big games, tremendous competition. The needs of our defense, what he brings, we thought he was the best pick.
Eric, there were 2 sexual assault allegations regarding Mike Green. When he was younger, I know he denied them. And there have been no charges. Fans have already reached out and said, this shows it doesn't really matter as long as you can play. What do you say to those fans?
I would say that we investigated this situation very thoroughly. And we have the best scouts in the NFL. We've got great scouts that go into Virginia, they go into Marshall. We've got people that work for us investigating different incidents with players all the time. And we felt comfortable taking him. We think he's a talented player. We understand the severity of what these allegations were, of course. But doing our due diligence, we are comfortable with Mike. I personally spent an hour and a half with him in my office. And I think the best is yet to come with him, and I'm glad we got him.
When you, given the allegations, obviously, Justin Tucker, the one I know completely separate and each case is looked at individually. When you have a situation like that, do you weigh, does that play have any weight when you're considering looking at a different guy?
Yeah, I don't think that would be fair to either player. I mean, it'd be like me asking you, you write a style similar to James, you both in the media, but you write differently, so it's 2 different situations, I think, Brian, and it's, obviously, allegations are severe, we take it seriously, we look at them individually, and we do as much homework as we can, and, specifically to Mike, in Mike's case, I feel like we did a good job talking to as many people as possible. We talked to Mike at length. We did our own kind of work behind the scenes, looking at all the different things, and we felt comfortable taking them.
Eric, I know you guys, when you're putting the draft board together, you kind of separate things based off injuries and character and off the field issues. When it came to Mike, I guess, I know you said you guys kind of diligently investigated it. What made you get to the point to where you were comfortable taking the chance with him?
Yeah, I think you just answered your own question. I mean, we diligently investigated it. We got as much information as we could. We considered the facts. We considered the allegations. We considered what the reports actually were and what they actually weren't. And we made a decision based off of that.
Eric, what kind of feedback did you get from coaches and people in his circle regarding his character?
I would say positive.
John, what did you learn about him when you met? What was that? I mean, imagine you were part of that too when you came.
Yeah, I actually wasn't here the day we met with him, but just echo what Eric said. Eric did. It was Eric, it was our scouts. I was in all the meetings, I heard all the reports. What Eric said was very interesting. It's not so much what they were and what they weren't, it's just as important. And the coaches and administrators and teammates at Marshall were fully supportive of everything we'd done there. And the same at UVA. Was any different at UVA, it was exactly the same from that standpoint. So it was, I tell about due diligence, it was exhaustive what these guys had done. And we made a decision based on who we felt was fair.
Is it still a tough decision when you're weighing that? When you're weighing those things, even when you go through those?
I mean, I think every decision we make in the draft is tough because we have a finite amount of picks, and your picks are very valuable, so you consider everything, you scrutinize everything. You know, it really does become, you know, our lives, you know, especially after the season ends, it's a race to the finish, and so it is a difficult decision. It's a difficult decision when a guy runs a slow 40, it's a difficult decision when a guy has allegations, it's a difficult decision when a guy has an injury that you think you can't overcome, but maybe you can't overcome. That all kind of gets factored in, because in the end, you know, there is an element of risk mitigation with everything we do. And we want these guys to come in and be productive right away. They have to be talented, they've got to be durable, and we have to have a lot of trust with them. So it is a difficult decision.
Eric, they showed him on TV, very emotional. Can you share a little bit about the phone call with him? Obviously, he was waiting a long time, and he wants to be more off the board by then.
You know, I think we leave that, you know, conversation to us. I mean, he'll probably get a chance to see it or hear it, you know. But, you know, I think he was with his family. I think he was relieved. Looks like he has a beautiful, wonderful family supporting him. And I think they're excited for this next chapter.
Eric, do you expect that he'll be made available to us?
I would assume so. I'd be more of a chat question, I think.
John, in just looking at the tape of Green, what kind of jumped out at you in watching him?
Right, the first thing that jumped out at me was his motor. You know, he's a relentless player. Like he's talking about a guy that plays the way our fans like to watch football play. He plays like a guy that really cares. He comes off the ball, he's very physical, and he does not stop playing until the final echo of the whistle. He's physical, he's aggressive, he plays the kind of football that we like to play, and I think just the football IQ, the football character is very high.
John, do you look at him as kind of like an instant impact type of guy for the defense?
Sure, absolutely. He's the guy that's going to come in here day one and he's going to make a mark. You know, it's going to be exciting. I look at a whole draft really kind of in total like that. These first two guys, defensive guys, you're going to notice them when we get out to the first day. Malachi's going to be, he's going to be flying around taking charge, and Mike's going to be flying around. You know, he won't be calling defenses back there, but he'll be coming off the edge and he's physical against the run. And the other thing is, it's important to these two guys. I mean, both these two guys, football really, really matters to them. They want to be successful. They want it to be in front of them. They want to make the most of their chance they have going forward, an opportunity to do things the right way. They're both very determined to do that, and I know that they both express that. Mike really expressed that. You know, he really wants to make the most of this opportunity, and he's very grateful for the opportunity. Say the same thing about Emery. He felt the same way. You know, he's another guy that, you know, he's got big goals, big aspirations, and all these guys. It's just so meaningful when you get on the phone with them afterwards, and you know they're all taking their journey. They're all fighting their fight. They're trying to overcome and kind of make their dreams come true. And these guys are very highly motivated group of guys.
John, with Emery, do you see? I mean, it seems like in college he was primarily a right tackle. Do you see him as a possibility of competing for that guard spot on the left side, or do you see him more as a tackle?
No, we see him as a possible swing guy. You know, he's kind of, that's what I thought the pick was so good that Eric made. He's got the chance to be a swing back up tackle for us right away, but he also has a chance to go in there and guard and play. So we're going to put him in there guard too, see how he does, and just get a feel for him. You know, once he starts practicing, just get a feel for where he can help us, and we think he can play guard and tackle.
Did he do any work inside at the Senior Bowl while you guys were there?
He did. He took some reps inside. You know, I think I was just really impressed with his competitiveness in the practices. You know, a lot of times some players go down there and they sort of treat it as a fun week. You know, and with Emery, the one-on-ones, you know, this guy was fighting and battling, and all the competitive periods, it really showed a lot of effort and tenacity, and it just seemed like watching him. You know, John said he's kind of a Ravens type of player. You know, just his attitude, his demeanor, his explosion, physicality. He's a guy that when we left, I just thought, you know what, this guy will have a chance to be pretty good for us.
Eric, did you entertain at any point trade offers for Mark Andrews? And can you definitively say he'll be on this team in the fall?
Well, I would never say if I entertained any trade offers. At this point, I would really expect Mark to be on this team. Great player, love him, competitive, tough, playmaker. I would expect him to be on the team.
Okay.
What about overall player? Were you pretty committed to staying where you were, or was there thought at any point in the draft to maybe moving up if you hadn't felt some particular guy?
I sweated the third round pick a little bit just because, I think Emery was a guy that we really liked and picking at the end of the round, and I really didn't, to trade up, I just really, I thought there was a chance we get Emery down there. But it's a long day and you start to see line go, and, I was just glad he was there, but, I think it was a good day. Excited about tomorrow, the opportunities that we have tomorrow, all the picks that we have in the fourth and fifth round, especially the sixth round. So I think we have, in the board looks, pretty good. We got wiped out, but because there's more players, looking at the, that last category we call 5-9s, there's a lot of names, which means we should have a chance to get some good players in the sixth round.
Thanks, guys.